when I think of the life of Jesus Christ, I really think of effort. I think of incremental effort. And for 30 years, Jesus Christ has an entire life that we don't get much info about at all. What we understand about Jesus Christ's life is we get the birth story, we get that he terrified his mother and father by going to the temple in Jerusalem and preaching in front of all the learned people and had them literally like astounded. Like homies were in there like, who is this kid? And that was a long journey, and I forget Mary and Joseph had to like go back, and beautiful story. I love that story. And Jesus has to like check his mother a little bit because she's like, my father and I were like worried sick about you. Like, Jesus, where you been? He's like, what are you talking about? Like my father, like I'm doing my father's business right now. And again, there's like the disconnect of like, he's talking about Father in heaven, God. Like he's on his errand. That's what he's here to do. And what we learned though at a young age, at 12 years old, Jesus is like, is growing into the complete man and complete God who he is. But in every other way, he had a full like mortal experience. Like he really did. He was a helpless babe in the manger. He needed Mary, right? Like that is what we fully know and understand. And it had to be that way. He had to come here and fully live through what we do. Yes, culturally different. 2,000 years ago, I understand. But he went through life as a full human so he could understand us. It had to be that way. He had to come here and do that so that then when we go through things, it's completely understood, right? So 30 years of Christ's life, we get that. We get the story of him at 12, worked with his father as a carpenter, and that he grew. He grew in wisdom and grace over the years. And I love that. Like, I love that idea that Jesus knew effort. He knew work. He knew labor. He knew learning and growing. Like, the idea that Jesus just like landed here and was like, all right, I'm ready. Like, what do you guys think he was doing for those 30 years? Like, if he was ready when he was 12 that day in the temple, he would have started throwing the money changers out like he did, 18, 19 years later. He didn't do that, right? He was growing. He was learning. He was no doubt studying. He was no doubt learning his identity. He was no doubt praying constantly, fasting, observing the laws, learning about nature. And I love that. I love that, like, most of his parables reference something about the times, right? He's always calling upon trees and certain animals and goats and sheep in his analogies. Like, he was very studious of his surroundings and nature. Obviously, creator of the world, right? So, like, maybe that's not the craziest observation ever. But Christ was spiritually carrying this bull every single day. So that the ultimate full bull of his sacrifice, his death, and taking his life again 3 days later, he couldn't have done that without that incremental effort. I don't believe that. It's hard for me to believe that those 30 years, like, he was just sitting around waiting for God to be like, okay, now you can go. I don't think so. I just don't. It makes more sense to me as a struggling Christian to worship somebody who struggled, not because of sin, right? But struggled because of the human condition. Struggled because of life is just hard, and knows that struggle and went through that and 100% won and always overcame. We will not do that, hence his grace. Because he did it, right? We get his grace, and that's the greatest gift.